Hey guys, how are you? Welcome to CoolVision. Georgia has been on many people's radar recently. It's a small democratic country in the South Caucasus region that has recently become a popular tourist destination. In this video, we'll take a look at its second largest city, Batumi. Wow, it's an endless beach. Nice weather. Where are we? Welcome to Batumi, Georgia. It's a resort city on the Black Sea. It's been getting more and more popular with the tourists from all over the world. Nice beaches, pebble though, but still very enjoyable. Well, let's see what it's all about. Batumi is located on the coast of the Black Sea in Georgia's southwest. It enjoys a subtropical climate and much of its economy revolves around tourism and gambling. Most tourists come from Russia, Iran, Turkey, Central Asia, and Europe. But it hasn't always been this way. In the Soviet days, it was more of a port city and a fishing town. This is what it looked like in the 1980s. And this is what it looks like now. A Soviet city becoming a Las Vegas. This is what capitalism does. Since around 2007, Batumi has been transforming beyond recognition by the construction of modern high-rise hotels and casinos, as well as the restoration of the classical 19th century buildings in the Old Town. But Las Vegas is not just about gambling, so now it's a party town with a great nightlife, pop stars, big-name DJs, and beachfront clubs. Batumi is different though, so let's take a look at different parts of the city. There's your typical residential Batumi with Soviet apartment blocks, clothes hanging on the ropes, and men playing backgammon in the yards. This part hasn't changed at all, it seems. You know, the typical residential areas where you won't find a lot of tourists. But if you want to stay for cheap, that's the place to go. Then you have the modern resort part of Batumi. High-rise hotels with condos and swimming pools. So this part pretty new, you know, high rises, very comfortable. A lot of them have swimming pools. And then there's the Batumi Boulevard, which is 7 kilometers long, about 5 miles long. And you can go jogging, cycling, whatever comes to your mind. So it's very well equipped. There's a lot of sports equipment everywhere. And finally, there's the old historic center that stays busy all the time. It's my favorite part. It has mesmerizing architecture, live music, delicious food, and cobblestone streets. Batumi is a historical city, and it has a lot of cobblestone streets, which is very charming, but at the same time, it makes your ride so shaky. So sometimes it's really annoying. The Old Town reflects the city's complicated history. Through different time periods, this area belonged to the Ottoman Empire, the Russian Empire, and I bet you didn't know this, but Batumi was also part of the British Empire. Surprised? It's true. Though only for 2 years after the First World War, 1918 to 1920. Yes, this is British troops marching in Batumi. There's definitely some charm when it comes to back streets of Batumi, of the Old Town. You know, some buildings are almost falling apart, not in the best shape, dilapidated, but it just feels so right. You know, you're like walking and admiring, like, oh, a palm tree, you know, brand new car, and then very old building from the 19th century. Как живется в Батуми? Хорошо. Пойдем изучать дальше. Batumi has a humid subtropical climate, which is influenced by the onshore flow from the Black Sea and the nearby mountains, resulting in significant rainfall throughout most of the year, making Batumi the wettest city in the entire Caucasus region, and the perfect place to grow anything, from tea to citrus fruits. The city is also an important seaport and has industries like food processing and light manufacturing. Salaries are low though, just like in the rest of Georgia, ranging from $200 to $500 a month. So, what are some things to do in Batumi? You can start by taking a walk along the Batumi Boulevard. It's a fantastic 8-kilometer long promenade along the seacoast. There are separate bike paths and lots of things to do. You can relax on the beach, it's endless so it's never too crowded, and if you're lucky, you're gonna see some dolphins. You can take a cable car that will take you to the top of leafy Anuria mountain, offering stunning views of the Black Sea and the city. How you doing? Where you guys from?
Turkey. Adjara.
Turkey. Oh, it's really close.
It's interesting. During the Soviet days, I talked to my mom and I said, was Batumi a famous resort? And it wasn't. It was just a port city during the Soviet days because all this coastline, you know, from Sochi all the way to Abkhazia were summer resorts. So this one was predominantly a port city. But ever since Mikhail Saakashvili became the president of Georgia, I remember him saying, we're going to turn it into another Monte Carlo. And so this is something they've been working on. And they built, ever since like 2009, they built a lot of these fancy hotels, casinos. And you know, the casino business is working because there's only 25 miles to the border with Turkey, and gambling is illegal in Turkey, so they come over here to gamble.
You can take a boat tour or charter a yacht. Both options are affordable. There are restaurants and bars along the beach, plenty of outdoor fitness equipment, children playgrounds and more. I was just walking around and I found a lot of cool stuff, like a bamboo grove, a Japanese garden, and even a small lake. I love ping pong, so I was super happy to see a lot of ping pong tables.
I'm really impressed with how many ping pong tables they have. We passed like 200 tables, believe it or not. Like you can't see it all the way, but all this alley is like a ping pong table alley. And so we don't see any drunk people. And it's just really pleasant to be here.
Then there's the dancing fountains, and the kids love it. What does Batumi smell like?
So, do you smell this?
Yeah, I do. First I was confused what the smell was, and then Lena said, it's what magnolia smells like. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Okay, but they're not blooming yet, okay? So in a couple weeks, it will have flowers all over, and it's going to be so pretty. Oh, the smell of Batumi.
Is Batumi expensive? No, it's not. We got a fantastic hotel right in the old center for just under $50 a night. Now let me show you the room. It's pretty spacious, and as you walk out to the balcony, you get this wonderful view. Very nice. It came with a breakfast, and the breakfast experience was awesome also. Let me show you the spot.
You get to see the old city. And so there's a lot of things to be looked at. Like some old house. It seems like everything's just falling apart, rusty. And then the beautiful cobblestone streets. And then the newer areas.
Batumi rose into prominence at the end of the 19th century when a railroad from Tbilisi and a pipeline from Baku made it Russia's main oil port in the Black Sea. That's why there are so many cool buildings of different architectural styles. Let me give you some examples. Armenian Apostolic Church. Sheraton Hotel, designed in the style of the Great Lighthouse at Alexandria, Egypt. Radisson Blu Hotel, Public Service Hall, the Church of the Mother of God built in the 1900s, Chacha Tower, Alphabetic Tower, a 130-meter high double helix pattern of DNA-inspired skyscraper with all 33 letters of the Georgian alphabet. Batumi Technological University Tower, you see it on the left. That's actually the tallest building in Georgia, 200 meters high. And there are lots of other cool buildings in the style of a lighthouse, a Colosseum, the Acropolis, and an upside-down White House. And also a futuristic McDonald's and gas station. The focal point of the old town is Europe Square, surrounded by 19th century buildings. There is a statue of Medea, a Colchian princess of the Greek mythology. Europe Square is a great place to enjoy some live music and have some delicious food.
The economy of Batumi during the Soviet days was very diversified. There was a fish factory, there was manufacturing, there was a big seaport. But today, it's mostly narrowed to tourism, and a huge part of tourism is gambling. So you'll see a lot of casinos all over the city. You know, everybody thinks they're the lucky ones, so that's how it works. Maybe we'll go gambling tonight, I don't know.
Piazza Square is an Italian-style open public area with marble mosaic. Kinda reminds you of Venice. Then there's the Miracle Park with a Ferris wheel. If you're a fan of kinetic statues, you're gonna love the statue of Ali and Nino by Georgian artist Tamar Kvesitadze. This couple can never truly be together. Ali and Nino were the names of the main characters in the novel of Kurban Said, a tragic love story between a young Muslim man from Azerbaijan and a Christian girl from Georgia. Batumi is now going through a construction boom.
Like, if you wonder, those towers, like, a tiny studio would cost $42,000. Now, a one-bedroom would set you back $55,000. A two-bedroom apartment would be around $109,000. So that's the prices.
If you get hungry, don't worry. Georgian food is very delicious and substantial. But Western Georgia has a lot of its local flavors, and the local specialty is Adjarian hachapuri that resembles a Viking boat. This is the famous Adjari hachapuri. Let me show you how to eat it. First, you gotta stir it up. You got eggs, you got cheese, you got other ingredients in there.
Butter.
And butter too, yeah. Next thing you wanna do, you wanna take off this tip of bread and just try to dip it. And then try it. Food's so good. The city is served by Batumi Airport. It's one of the 3 international airports in the country. You can also take a train from Tbilisi or you can drive. The city is really stretched out. Luckily, there are bike and scooter sharing systems allowing you to cover distances much faster. The main types of public transportation are buses, minibuses, and taxis. This type of boat used to circulate between the Russian city of Sochi and Batumi, but not anymore, obviously. If you get a chance, rent a car and drive around the area. The city is surrounded by beautiful landscapes, tea plantations, wineries, mountains, and the beautiful coastline. So driving around is tons of fun. You can visit Kabuleti. It's a nearby sleepy coastal town.
We are 30 minutes away from Batumi, and this small town, Kabuleti, and it's a popular seaside resort also. Prices are lower and the beach is endless. So
Добрый день, добрый день.
Добрый день.
Kabuleti нравится.
только приехали, да.
Да, понравится.
Спасибо. So what you think about Kabuleti, Lana?
So far, so good. It's like small town vibe. Looks like Cuba.
Cuba. So hard to step on those pebbles, but the water is really comfortable.
Or you can visit Gonio Fortress. This is the ruins of a Roman fortification in Adjara. It's hard to believe, but in the 2nd century it was a well-fortified Roman city. Next on the list is Batumi Botanical Garden. It's a 108-hectare or 266-acre park. It's one of the largest botanical gardens in the former Soviet Union. There's an electric shuttle bus if you get tired of walking, and you can even camp there. Next on the list is Holy Trinity Church. Definitely worth the trip.
What's up, guys? Let's go to the monastery.
If you're driving, bear in mind that the road gets very narrow towards the top, but you'll get some of the most spectacular views of Batumi.
Lana, where are you taking me?
To a monastery
What's it called?
at the top of the mountain.
So we are walking up to the Holy Trinity Church, and let me tell you, the road here was quite an adventure. Sometimes the road was so narrow, cars going down had to back up, but we got here. It's on the very top of a mountain, and if you guys are looking for a great viewing spot in Batumi, come here. This is the kind of view you're gonna get. Pretty nice. Can't see very clearly today, but on a clear day, it's gonna be so good.
There's a small family cafe nearby.
Hachapuri is so good. Cheese bread is wonderful.
We had some delicious Georgian sodas and hinkali, that is local dumplings. And we got a chance to see the house of a local family. So let's take a look.
Скажите, когда вы этот дом построили?
В 1980 году.
Вы рассказывали про то, что мы спросили раньше во время Советского Союза, Что были заводы, да, разные?
Заводы были, много заводов.
А какие были заводы?
Нефтобаз был фанерный завод, рыбный завод, судостроительный фабрика был, электрокар, электроприбор, что не было, да, все было, да, в принципе, все было. Люди работали, гаражи были разные, да, водителям работали, а сейчас ничего нет.
И многие, вы говорите, сейчас молодежь уезжает там в
Уезжает, конечно, его сын младший, где-то 43, сейчас девушка ходила, его отец. Это Италия или где-то выехал, не знаю. Мой племянник в Грецию, так люди, да, выехали, да. Нету работы, куда? Чем заниматься молодым? Чем? Надо чем-нибудь заниматься, семью надо покормить.
А скажите, сколько вот у вас здесь пенсия?
260 лара. Кто 70 лет, 300 лар. 300 лар, сейчас $100.
$100.
Вся эта жизнь.
Это очень мало.
Это только на лекарство не хватает.
Что, интервью берете, да?
Да, спрашиваю,
Так, снимаем
как
дом,
живется.
Молодцы, молодцы.
The owner is very nostalgic about the Soviet days, which is typical for the old generation of Georgians, saying that the economy was better and everyone had jobs.
Everything's outside. Very nice.
Привет, привет.
А здесь кухня.
Здесь прям выходишь, просто сидим,
Ага.
капитан, спать на второй
На
этаж.
втором этаже.
А, спать на втором.
Это
Ага.
днем больше спать здесь, да? Да, еще.
А у вас центральное отопление здесь?
Газ.
Красиво. И семейное кафе у вас. Удобно?
Это мой старший сестра.
Ага.
Родная моя.
The real Batumi.
And make sure you explore different beaches, because the city beach is okay, but it's not the best.
I think it's about time to go to the beach. The beach is the destination.
There's a lot of nice beaches around Batumi. Of course, all of them are going to be pebble beaches. So let's explore this one. It's right by the Botanical Gardens. Gotta cross the railroad tracks. No trains coming. And there's Batumi in the distance. Сколько стоит арендовать гамак?
Полчаса 5 лар.
Отличная цена.
Mtsvani Konchi Beach is one of my favorites. It's a pebble beach with summer cafes and a new pier.
Love it.
Another beach that I visited is Sapri Beach. It's one of the cleanest in the region because there are no flowing rivers nearby, and it's very popular among locals.
Hello, I'm near the city of Batumi, and I'm about 200 meters from the border with Turkey. You can see the Turkish flag in the distance. Wow, I could be in Turkey any moment.
It's about 15 minutes by bus from Batumi, and it doesn't get very crowded. Take a look at that weird building. It's called the Sapri Border Checkpoint. Pretty cool looking building.
When you're in Georgia, you better have some coins on you. Like, look how many I got. Why is that? Not that I like coins that much, but because every time you want to use a restroom, you gotta pay for it. Like this one is 50 ketti, it's like half a lari. Very affordable, but then you always gotta have change on you, you know. So a little inconvenience that I can live with.
Yeah. And sometimes when you come to the beach,
Right.
they ask some money for parking.
Oh yeah, parking guys always ask you for a 2-3 lari. Okay, I just call it tourist tax, you know.
It seems like Georgians have a passion for muscle cars. It's very simple to bring foreign cars into the country, and the import tax is just 12%. And many Georgians buy used and damaged cars at American auctions for a few grand and bring them over. Georgians seem to love all things American, starting from a monument to Ronald Reagan in Tbilisi, to endless Wendy's and Dunkin' Donuts locations all over the country.
Georgia has got Very nice highways, and as you can see on top of that hill, they got wind generators. And then they got rest areas like this along the highways. And as you can see, there's Wendy's, there's different other restaurants. Very American, lots of parking space. So Georgia's becoming the American Georgia, you know, like the state of Georgia.
What about safety? The city is very safe overall. Although, I have a crazy story to tell you. We were driving out of the city, and there was an aggressive car following us. It was a black tinted Volvo with a very loud exhaust. When it finally passed us, I was able to see that in the front seats, there were teenagers. And once it passed us, the guy in the passenger seat pulled down the window, pulled out a gun, and fired a shot into the air. It was pretty loud and scary. Unfortunately, I did not take a picture of their license plate. Lots of people told me later on that such behavior is not tolerated well in Georgia, and the police would take it seriously. I hope so. In Batumi, I met a lot of Russians, Belarusians, and Ukrainians. People are running from the war and the authoritative regimes. The biggest appeal is, of course, the sea and the low cost of living. Although rent prices, they told me, nearly doubled since last year. Any downsides? Yeah, it's a rainy place. It gets double the amount of precipitation of New York City and triple that of Rome, Italy. Is Batumi better than Tbilisi? Depending on what you want. Both cities are fun. If you love the seaside, the beach, a resort atmosphere, then Batumi would be a better choice, of course. But if you prefer museums, old architecture, and urban experience, then Tbilisi is a good destination for you. So there you have it, guys. Capitalism beats communism every time. So thanks for watching, guys. Let me know if you've heard of Batumi before and if you've ever been there. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell button so you'll always be updated about my upcoming videos.
Ice in my veins, I've been driving this train. Years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame. Cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight.